Hey guys, I'm Tammy and welcome back to my channel. So about a month ago, I did some fabric shopping online from a brand that I didn't even realize does fabric, and that brand is Shein. So obviously I hate Shein. I'm sure lots of people in the handmade, me-made community also hate Shein. But hear me out, when I saw they did fabric, I was like, okay, I'm curious. I want to see what the fabric quality is like because it is really cheap. So I just thought, why not have a bit of fun, see what they have and actually what it feels like in person. So when you go onto the website, you basically just have to type into the search bar sewing fabrics, and that just shows hundreds of different fabrics, even different sewing accessories, trims, buttons, literally everything. I had no idea that they actually sold stuff like this, so honestly I was a bit surprised they had so much sewing accessories on their website. So I ended up buying 6 different items and they came to around £15, which is really cheap. So I have the parcel. It actually came really quickly. I think it took around 2 weeks to come, which I thought was a lot quicker than I thought it would be. Let's actually see what's inside and if it was actually worth it. First item. I actually opened the bag earlier, but I've not actually had a peek inside. So this is the first thing that I ordered. I find it so strange that the fabrics come in plastic bags, like it's just fabric. You could have rolled it inside the parcel. And having a look in there, all of them is actually wrapped in plastic, which obviously I don't like. But let's see which one this is. So this is the Ombre tulle fabric. So I bought this for around £2, I think. And I think I bought 1 meter, but I'm not entirely sure. So the reason why I bought this one is because I really like the rainbow effect. Actually, that's kind of cute. So this is definitely a meter's worth of fabric, and it's definitely a really nice tulle. It feels really nice and soft. So the reason why I bought this specific fabric is because it's blue and purple, and it has a really nice iridescent sort of shade, and I really like how that looks. So I would say this is actually really good. So yeah, this cost me £2 for 1 meter, which is really cheap. And the reason why, to be honest, I chose to order from Shein and see what they have is because I thought, if you're someone that wants to buy fabric and you want a really cheap overhead, so maybe you're making things like scrunchies or zipper pouches or like cheap things that you want to make and sell, this is actually a really good alternative because it's so cheap, and obviously you get enough to make smaller pieces to actually sell. This is not bad. Let me show you a close-up. So it might be a bit hard to see because obviously it's a tulle, but I absolutely love that. £2, that is so good. Okay, this is a bad thing because I'm not obviously going to shop from Shein again, but I did want to see what this was all about, and I have to say this is better than I expected. I'm thinking you can even make clothing from tulle fabric. I've not tried it before, but obviously you could put this into a skirt and make that into a really cute puffy skirt. I've seen people also do like puff sleeves with tulle in like a puff sleeve dress. That would be really cute. I think I'm in love with this one. Oh, it's a good one. Oh, I think this is the one that I bought. It just says 4 pieces mixed color DIY sewing fabric. I think this is a combination of linen and cotton. Oh, okay. Ooh. Okay, this is bigger than I thought it would be. Okay, so it's like quite a big piece of fabric. This is definitely a cotton linen blend. You can feel the fabric. And what size is this? So I just measured this and it is 19 inches by 19 inches, which is actually quite big. And I've got a pink one, a blue one, a white one, and then also a cream one. So that's basically 4 different colors in the exact same fabric, and this cost me £3.75, which I think is actually pretty good because each of these measures 19 inches wide and it's a square, so that's quite a lot of fabric. Let me give you a close-up of the texture of one of the fabrics. I mean, you can see it has a nice little linen texture and it's not too see-through. It's actually quite a nice medium weight. So they're all actual pastel shades and they match really nicely together. So I can imagine this would make such a nice gift if you wanted to make something, lots of different things, but they all feel like the same sort of vibe. This again is honestly another win. I actually think that's a really good value for money and the fabric actually feels good. I'm kind of impressed, but I feel bad. I shouldn't be impressed. Oh, Shein. I wanted to see what the fabric was like, and to be honest, so far what I've tried is actually really good. Next thing, so this looks really tiny. This is the 7 pieces mixed fabric patterns, and this cost me £1.50, but I think there's lots of different prints in here. So there's 7 different prints and they all measure 10 inches by 10 inches. This is a cute kind of checkered board cotton. And then we've got a really cute starry print. It looks like that. We've got a cute little floral print. That's actually kind of cute. They all kind of also feel of the same sort of family. They kind of all match together, which is nice. Then we've also got this floral one. They're all cotton fabrics. This is another floral fabric. Looks like that. A spotted fabric, bit more beigey with white dots. And then the leopard print fabric, and it looks like that. I have to say, for 7 pieces of fabric for £1.50 and they all measure 10 inches by 10 inches, that's actually pretty good. Obviously these are like small pieces of fabric, but again, the reason why I thought I would try out the fabrics is because I thought if you have like gifty things you want to make that require small amounts of fabric, this is actually pretty good for the amount you get for only £1.50. Obviously I'm not condoning buying their clothing or anything like that. I just wanted to see what their fabrics were, because in my head I thought maybe the fabrics were like offcuts of the clothing that they made, but this actually feels like a selection of fabrics they've put together, kind of like fat quarters, the ones where you buy like a set of them that kind of all work and they're all a part of the same sort of vibe. But I think they work really well when you pair them together. Like those two look so adorable. I can imagine that being a really cute pencil case where like one's the outside of the fabric and then one is the lining. I think they all actually could work like that. So I'm actually really impressed with these because they actually feel pretty good. Actually, they do have a bit of a chemically smell. Not sure why that is, but other than that, that's actually pretty good. So this one is the same thing, but it's actually 6 pieces of fabric, and this also costs £1.50. Oh, so these actually feel different. The ones I just showed you were all definitely cotton, whereas these ones feel more like viscose. And I just measured them. These are actually all 9 inches wide, where the previous ones were 10 inches wide. So they're all very flowy fabric, like a viscose. I actually love that print. That is really cute. So this is like a yellow palm tree sort of print. And then we've got a striped print with these orange lines all over it. Again, another viscose. Then we've got this mustard viscose fabric. Honestly, they drape really nicely. And then we've got this yellow gingham fabric, but it actually has like the seersucker texture, that sort of crinkled feeling. It's not a viscose, but I really like that one. If I try and show you the texture, it might be hard to see, but it's actually like bubbly, the fabric. And then there's this leopard printy fabric, kind of cute. And then finally we've got a flower print fabric that looks like that, which is also definitely a viscose. So they're all very floaty fabrics with that nice amount of drape. Again, they all actually feel like they're part of the same family. They all have that sort of golden orangey shade throughout them. And again, for £1.50, that's actually pretty good. The only thing I'm thinking is, what can you make out of 9 by 9 inch wide squares? I was thinking you could definitely make scrunchies. They're also a nice size for making a pocket square. That might be really useful if you're making bows, things like that. These would definitely work for. I'm not sure about making pencil cases or anything that needs structure unless you're going to interface the fabric, because it's a bit too floppy. But £1.50, honestly, for all those different fabrics is actually pretty good. So I bought 2 more things that aren't fabric, but I also bought, and let me go with the labels first. So I got this pack of labels. It looks like that. And I think they all just say handmade with love on them, just in different colors. Let me open it. So this is what the pink one looks like. As you can see, it just says handmade with love. They actually feel pretty good and they feel actually really silky. So I bought a pack of 50 and that cost me £2.50. So I've got pink versions, beige versions that look like that, and then also black versions that look like that. So obviously there's quite a few in here and they actually feel okay. They don't feel scratchy or anything like that, which is good. I feel like £2.50 for 50 labels is really good. Obviously they're not customized, they literally just say handmade with love. But again, I was thinking, if you're someone that sells lots of different gifts and things like that and you don't want to use expensive labels in them, this actually feels like a better idea for things like that. So I just measured them and they're 2 inches wide and then they're ½ an inch high, which is actually quite a nice size. I think these are really similar to the ones that I normally buy for myself on other websites. Again, I actually think that's actually pretty good. Obviously some of them need an iron because they're a bit kind of crinkled, but for a whole pack of 50, I actually think that's actually pretty good. So this is the last thing that I bought, and it's basically a trim, and it cost me £2 for the entire thing. I don't know how much I bought. I imagine it's a meter, but let's see what it looks like. So this is what the trim looks like. I actually think that looks so cute. It actually feels really nice as well. So I imagine this is a meter. Let's see. So I just measured this, and it's actually 103 inches long, which is really, really long. That's longer than I thought it would be. And it actually feels really good. There's nothing like kind of puckering or anything like that. I actually think this is really good for £2. What I was thinking you could use this for is like, if you're sewing any lingerie or anything you want like a cute little trim on the border, this would be so cute, either on dresses or shorts, or if you want a kind of peekaboo section in between two pieces of fabric, that's what this would look really cool for. I am actually really happy with that. I think that looks so adorable. That's what it looks like against me, so you can kind of see the width of it. Let me see how wide it is. So yeah, this is actually 2 inches wide, and that's actually bigger than I thought it would be, but I still think it's really cute. And then they also include a receipt in the bag, but it's kind of hard to read because it's really misprinted. But I actually think all of that for £15 is really good, especially if you're going to use these and make things to sell at markets and things like that. I actually think that's pretty good when you're going to sell it for a higher price than obviously the cost of the fabric. I don't know, I feel weird that I actually like those fabrics, because obviously not to make clothing apart from the tulle in the beginning, that iridescent one, because it's actually a meter long, so it's big enough for me to make something out of it to actually wear. But for the rest of it, I can actually imagine making it as pencil cases, little gifts for family and friends and things like that. I think that actually worked out better than I thought it would be. I think I might try sewing with some of the fabric and show you in another video what they actually turned out to be. I have to say the fabric feels a lot better than I thought it would. And sometimes I've ordered fabric from, you know, UK brands that are actually really well known that sell fabric, and the quality has been really bad. So this quality actually feels a lot better than some of the fabrics I've tried in other shops that are also marketed at being cheap. So we'll have to see when I actually make something out of them what they actually hold up to and if they're okay to sew with. But let me know your thoughts on which fabric was your favorite, and if you would ever check them out and see what's on their website. I mean, I do not condone shopping on Shein. Obviously it's one of those websites, but I was just really curious. I kind of wanted to see what their stuff was. They do have a lot of sewing accessories on there for really cheap. So if you're someone that's on a budget and you really don't have that much money to spend on sewing accessories, or you just want to buy some really cheap fabric that's quite small, that's actually pretty good. That was definitely interesting. Honestly, a lot better than I thought it would be. Let me know in the comments what you think. I'd really love to hear your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next one.